these old weeds. Probably should have sprayed them first. Oh, God almighty. Oh, Lordy, hit a hole. Crap. Woo. Hello, that'll get your attention. I couldn't resist to put that clip in there. I was in the middle of that field and hit a sinkhole with looking out the back window filming, and man, what a mess. I'm complaining about making my field smooth, and that's what I do. But this machine, as you can see, was just a tillage machine, but I stuck coulters on the front of it to make a vertical tillage. It's not a vertical tillage, but it starts to be one. Let's put it that way. The first thing I did wrong was I ordered these from Shoot Manufacturing, and I ordered offset shanks. Well, guess what? I didn't have room for offset shanks, so here we go. New shanks were $40 a piece, and I had 11 coulters. So I just bought a 20-foot stick, 1.5 inch steel, and drilled some holes in the end of them and made them. So here, that's what I did. Speed might be a little fast, but it's all right. There we have just a retaining hole in each end. Got 11 of these to do. So all I had to do was I drilled a pilot hole and then enlarge it to the proper size. For the roll pin went in the end of one end and the Carter key on the other. This little fixture that I had to drill center through round stock. It works real good. A little cleanup work to do. After drilling them all, I just took everything to the belt sander and cleaned them up a little bit. And got to use my new belt sander. So I'm really happy with it. This grinder is amazing. Change your belt.
The airlines aren't going to get back in the air under the conditions we're setting. The restaurants aren't going to open under the conditions.
Ready to go. A little bit of cleanup work. Sand them down. They're ready to be put on. And of course, we're having the COVID-19 mess. While I'm doing this, I'm in here by myself, by the way. But I'll do my part. I use this to wipe off all the oil and grease off of these things, but I'll have to take it home with me tonight, if you know what I mean. I'll do my part. Thank you. And like I was saying on this Fabricating grinder, I just got it at the Farm Machinery Show this year. I fell in love with it last year and went back to get it this year. Took me a while to just making some deals, but I got it bought. Can't afford it, but I got it bought. Variable speed. It's excellent grinder. 2x60 inch belts, 1.5 by 60 or 2 by 60. I'm using 1.5 now, which is what they recommend. With this thing turned on high, it turns 8,000 surface feet per minute. You can turn it down for polishing, plastics, brass or something like that. Turn it all wet. Now twist this back out of the way and you can do your freestanding. Excellent. Fabricating. I'll put a link on there. Thin belts, fine and coarse, and I'm just now starting to use it good, be honest with you, but I love it. Just for stuff like this, you polish and clean the ends off right quick. You don't have to do the grinder. Emery wheel just does a good job. Here we're starting to put things together. I bought 11 clamping kits, 11 coulters from Shoop Manufacturing. I'll put a link to that, which is a good investment on my part. I started to make the clamps, but I'm glad I bought them. So we're a lot of different little tedious work putting 11 all these things together, and we're trying to figure out where they go as we're doing it. We had an idea, but we didn't know how they were going to fit. So it's a lot of trial and error on our part, measuring and figuring out what we're going to do. And as usual, I didn't realize I had quite the glare. I had the shop door open. It was one of the warmest days of the year that we'd had. With that shop door open, it got a lot of sunlight in. Of course, I'm not the best cameraman by no means, but we're just trying to put it together and start spacing these things out. And there for a while, I miscounted. I thought I was missing one, but everything worked out with that part, worked out good. So we spent a lot of time measuring, moving, measuring, figuring out where we could go. We had a few obstacles we had to go around, to make these things fit. We were putting them in a kind of a tight place, but anyway, that's kind of what we did a whole lot of, is just getting ready.
This lower in the center, those two?
Yeah. See how close that one is. We're back out here to my mark now. Like I said earlier, it was one of the warmest days we've had, so it got a little warm, which felt good for a change. Well, here's what I've decided to do with this. It's a Salford 450 S Tine cultivator. Got the S Tines, got the fingers, got the rolling baskets on the back. It does an excellent job of leveling ground. But I'm gonna try to make a vertical tillage tool out of the front of it. We're going to mount this bar. We've made the bar. I got the climber coulter units from Shoop. We got the U-boat kit from Shoop. We made all this 4-inch beam, 2x3 here. We've clamped it onto the existing. I'm trying to make it where I don't weld on the machine. And now we're mounting the coulters on this thing and see what we can come up with. The good thing about having a telehandler. Yeah, we were able to take that telehandler and set that pallet of parts
in there. We had the door stopped up with the machines, but it's about 1,200 pounds parts that I put on it, just from the chute parts. But so now comes the part of starting to put everything together. We've got our brackets on there, and then I put the homemade straight shanks on, and then we put the coulters on the bottom of that. So it's just a lot of repetitious work and seeing how it's going to fit. And at this point, we decided we're going to have to raise the machine up so we could get under it and put the units in from the bottom, because they're pretty heavy. So had to raise the telehandler up and raise the machine up, get it all set, crawl back up under it, and then start putting them in. One was helping me put them in from the bottom. And we finally figured it out.
Skipper, and then
And then the main thing left was to put the coulters themselves on. So we bolted those on, and 11 of those to do, so it's quite a bit of bolting, tightening, and adjusting. So we got that much done, and then it's starting to look like I wanted it to look. I was surprised.
well, we got them on there. Juan's putting the last disc on now. It's fun down in there, trying to get all this stuff on. Actually looks pretty good. Remains to be seen whether it'll work or not, but that don't count. We're all about looks. Ha!
Well, now it's time to start inspecting and looking, and we had some of the S Tine shanks we had to move, and so that's what we start working on, getting stuff out of the way. Had to take some off in the front right behind the coulters because there's just too much going on right there. But with the coulters, I didn't really need those S Tines in the front, so we just moved them around, stuck them in some different places, and filled up some holes. But staggered them enough where the material would flow through it, and but that's what we're doing here.
We might be able to leave that one. No, some came with it. They had already taken them out for some reason. This one,
Well, it was right about here that I decided, I was telling one, we're going to have to put some diagonal braces on this thing somehow. It was hooked to 4 straight pieces, and it's about 2,000 pounds of for the whole outfit, and quite a bit of stress and strain. And then if you turn much at all, it's going to put some sideways stress on it. So you could tell with the look on his face, he didn't believe that at the time. But we later on we came up with some diagonal braces on each end. I did have to weld to that one little brace that we're hooked to. But anyway, I just needed to, felt like I needed to put some diagonals on it.
Yeah. When this comes up, this is.
So really, you can tell we're just doing a lot of, as the old boy said, we're doing a lot of ciphering, trying to figure out how these coulters are going to react when you raise them and they hit a rock and they turn and twist a little bit. So we did quite a bit of looking around.
This one is all right. I'm just trying to get rid of this sliced here and here, so I think it'll be all right. Well, we got them on there. We got a lot of adjusting to do. We added probably 2,000 pounds to that damn thing.
We got it hooked to the Big Daddy now. I'm fixing to take it to the field. It's finally dried up enough and give it a chance. You can see I put some angle braces on the front of it. We didn't get any pictures of that. We just welded a couple of pieces on it. But there's the initial go straight to the ground, and it took off working. Just like that. I never made an adjustment right there. You can see what was right in the middle. I wound up moving some S Tines. But other than that, I did nothing. And yes, I could have cleaned the back window. There's bird poop all over the darn thing.
Done an excellent job, I think, for what I wanted to do. What happened before, without these slicers on the front, it would just ball up underneath those S Tines. And they're slicing them up, and it's working. Well, we kicked it up a notch, grind out a little bit. This first pass, I'm just trying to uproot some of these weeds. I'm going to sow this field of alfalfa. It's been in soybeans for 4 or 5 years. I'm going to crisscross it 2 or 3 times. This thing does a good job leveling. I'm a fanatic about alfalfa fields being level. So this is the first pass. I think the next pass it'll just get better and better. Like I say, I'm just loosening up some of these old weeds. Probably should have sprayed it. Oh God almighty. Oh Lordy, hit a hole. Crap. Woo. Hello, that'll get your attention.
And needless to say, it did get my attention. I could have broke the axle out from under that tractor. It was a sinkhole that come in it over the winter. Anyway, there we go.
We're going to work this field probably 4 or 5 times before I get through with it. I'm going to sow it in alfalfa, and I like my fields good and smooth. We did a lot of work on that machine right there. We put those coulters on the front of it, kind of hoping making a vertical tillage machine. I'm tickled to death with it right now. I hope so. I spent quite a bit of money doing it, but didn't really know whether it would work, but it's doing fine. We're working on this new machine that I redid. Put the coulters on the front of it. Gonna work this field. This field's been in bean 4 or 5 years. I'm gonna put it in alfalfa. Want to work it down. I'll probably work it 4 or 5 different directions and get it good and smooth before we sow it. Right now I'm just trying to stop some of the weed growth before it gets away from me. And I'm tickled to death with the job this thing's doing. I've tried to use it before without the coulters on it. And This kind of ground is useless. It just wouldn't work. But the coulter slice it just enough so I can break it up.
And there is the final view of the machine, Salford 450, that I put the coulters on the front of it. But it's an excellent machine. Does a great job, as I've said many times before. It's got the rolling baskets and the tines and the scratchers, and it just levels the ground extremely well. As I've said many times before, God bless America, and thanks for watching. And by the way, thank you, Uncle Zip, my father, who served in World War II, came in Normandy Beach. Thanks, buddy. We miss you.